Yeah.
Okay, so here we are, three. Holy smokes, when three gather. Look the fuck out. So let's take a couple of deep breaths and just say the healer's prayer. I invite you to say this along with me. I'm here to be truly helpful. I am here to represent him who sent me. I do not need to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. It's amazing how the ego has all of these traps and it pulls us in all of these directions. Thank you, Raina, for pulling me out of the rabbit hole that I was in. It's perfect. I can't hear you. No,
Oh,
there
well,
you
I
go.
didn't know I did, but you're welcome. Hey.
Yeah, I was listening to Kenneth Wapnick. I get Keith, there's Keith Kavanaugh and Kenneth Wapnick, and so Keith, Kenneth. Yeah, wow. These little videos, these 10-minute videos are just, they're gems. It's really, really helping me to be just totally plugged in constantly. Because what a vortex this ego thought system kind of reminds me of a bit of a vortex right now. It's got a lot of sucking potent power, and not just because it's feels like my life is sucking, but it's sucking me into the story. There's like this vortex of yeah, being sucked into this painful story. I was also listening to the Keith Kavanaugh Halloween special with the vampire analogy that I just love so much. It's so perfect. And like several times today, I catch myself being a vampire, and it's like, holy fuck, I'm so attached to this story that is so painful. Like, wow. It's sadistic. It's so insane. So insane.
But remember, we can't judge ourselves. That defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But to look at it. And I don't know what happened, but I feel like myself again. I had popped out that whatever I was in. And you know what? I didn't have a story because all my stories are gone. And that's even worse. Because at least you have a fucking story. You got somebody to hate. You got a loss to grieve. You got something appearing, that really happened. I didn't have shit, but the same thing that started me on the journey, which is the story of this invisible mental illness that I was told I had. Because that really started me here. It got my attention. It wasn't, it wasn't like I wasn't crazy, but when somebody gave me a diagnosis, it changed my life, and I didn't realize how much my ego was so happy to have that. You know, because now it doesn't even need. I mean, I have the stories, of course, but now you've got something that just, yeah, I don't know. It was just so anyway, I don't know what the hell was going on. The only thing I could say was I felt just like the eagle was beating the fuck out of me. And I was so, I mean, I was barely functioning. I was getting crazy. And I said, oh, but there's no such thing as mental illness. So now what is it? If I can't use that mental illness, correct, what is it? If I can't say, okay, I'm going into depression, I must be going into clinical depression now. I know, I'm feeling like I can't get out of bed. I'm crying. I just hate, I want to die. All those things. But now I can't say, oh, it's bipolar. I can't use it because I don't believe it no more. I really don't. So, I'm like, what? It's like, but it's keeping coming. And Keith Kavanaugh, I mean, that practicing what he says without a past or a future, where are you? How can you prove you are? Right now, remember he does that test? Right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now. Can you prove you're you? Excuse me, I have a persistent cough. So that really, it gave me enough break, relief from the suffering that I was going through. I didn't feel I could get a glimpse of light. I couldn't feel I could feel Holy Spirit. I couldn't feel. And then I was doing what you said, Jody, to pray. And I thought I was praying. But like I said, I might have been bringing the light to my darkness instead of bringing my darkness to the light. So I said, I'm going to write a prayer every day. And I just wrote my prayer. And then I wrote, and I don't know. And something this morning, like when I wrote you, I was like, I'm out. And like, I can't even tell you, I don't even remember like where I was. Like I'm trying to, like, how was I so bad off? What was I? But I know I was, because I guess I can look at the video and say, yeah, I was, but I can't access it now. And I'm not manic. I mean, see what I'm saying? So all these things, it's like, what do you ascribe it to now that the story of mental illness is gone? So, um, I just said, fuck it. I know I have to dedicate myself to this. And that's full time. And what I mean by that is I can't, the seesaw was because I kept choosing the ego's thought system. My values are deeply rooted in that value system that I think I have gone beyond because I'm so spiritual. And I'm listening to Nook Sanchez. Oh my God. Read her book, The End of Death. She has an audible book, The End of Death. and
Yeah.
and
The End of
and
Death.
The End of Death. And this is the second volume in The End of Death, which I haven't read. Look at this fucking tome. But it's really good. She's such an excellent writer. I don't know if you can see it, but she has a manual for holy relationship.
Ooh.
Yeah, but she hasn't put this on Audible, so I was kind of waiting, trying to cheat and wait to listen to it, but I'm gonna have to read this fucker. But she's so good.
Mm-hmm.
She's so good because she suffers so much. She's so good at just. Oh, she's so clear and just this whole death thing is just, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Um, and it's a value.
Mm.
We don't know it. Sin is a value.
Mhm.
Uh, my suffering valuable. Uh, for me, it was, and I'm seeing that my attraction.
Mm.
And so it's been I mean, it's been, I'm so happy. That's all I did this morning was I was like, thank you. I knew I was out. I knew I was out this morning. So I don't know if it works like that. Hopefully, if for you, I don't know, but like I said, I'm going to rededicate myself. I really, really, and I'm not going to have to tell everybody, oh, I'm going to be really. No, it's going to be not doing anything for the values of, there's no reason to do anything except for salvation. I mean, today's lesson is I came for the salvation of the world. What the fuck else are you going to do? How can I worry about making my bills and doing it? How can that even be relevant? Or doing these menial things with nothing has any meaning but the meaning I give it. Nothing does. Nothing does. Nothing has any meaning. Everything's neutral. Everything's neutral. And you can just feel that now. If you can just get that past present and just come, man, I was just like, every time I found myself in the future, I was like, I could feel the peace, that grace, that release. I won't even say relief because I felt released from it. Not even oh, that's over, but just like, phew, like unlocked.
Mm.
And I feel good. Physically, I don't, and I'm never sick. And it doesn't bother me. But I can watch it because it's not a me. I mean, none of this matters. I mean, this is just, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. I mean, not like I'm not going to take care of myself, but it's not. It's I don't know. It's my grandson.
Glad you're back.
Me too. Thank you. Me too. And I was feeling really bad about not being me. But you know what? We got to be what we are. We can't pretend. I couldn't pretend. I couldn't do it.
Mm-mm.
And that's good for me to know because I thought I was, sometimes I can question how good I feel. No, I'm not going to do that. Right?
Mhm.
Because this is normal. This
Mhm.
is normal. And I'm glad I know this is me back, that this is me. Sane. That's what I like to call it. I like to call it sane.
Yeah.
Because even though I know I was thinking, I mean, to me, I suffered because I didn't even have a good reason. I hate when I can't, I hate not to have a good reason why I'm suffering. I hate that, right? Why you down? I don't know. No, nobody's gonna accept that. No. Well, fucking get up and do the dishes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I didn't like that. And I guess that was the gift because, and I'm gonna tell you something more. My stories are different. Now, I used to tell the story about how I became a stripper, and I only was a stripper for 2 nights, so don't get excited. I did it for 2 nights, and I used to say it was because I went manic. I didn't even put that part in now. I just said, you know, it's something I always wanted to do, and I did. I was a stripper for a couple of nights, and I didn't put that whole manic thing over it. That was really cool. That was so freeing. That was
Mm.
really freeing. And I'm finding that is happening more, that it the I don't know what that it makes me think that.
Mm.
Yeah, it was something I wanted to do. Man, I did. Honestly, I never thought I would have the nerve. That was after I was a Muslim and I was raised a Catholic. Imagine that. I became a stripper. So you had to say mania. How are you going to explain that shit? Where, you know what? Where does that come from? You've been covered for 12 years and all of a sudden you
Oh,
stripping on the, you know?
God. You go, girl.
But to be honest enough, all those things I did while I was manic, and I did quite some incredible things, but it was things that were lurking in me all the time, but just never had the nerve, if you will.
Mm.
Yeah, I just didn't have, I was very much controlled growing up, and of course, good Catholic. And then imagine Catholic Muslim, same thing, that same kind of control and tell you everything so you know all the rules and you can just really, and then to let go of all of those things and do anything that I always wanted to. It's like coming down here and saying, oh, but what if there was an opposite to God? I mean, that's what it was. What if I could do whatever the fuck I wanted to do? And I will still say this. That experience was fear dropped away. I didn't have the capacity for fear. I didn't have the capacity for fear. I was just enjoying and having adventure every day and no fear. Walked the streets of New York fearless. All kinds of hours, picked up men. I mean, I was doing all kinds of things, just having the time of my life. I ain't gonna lie. And the power and the gifts that came through. I mean, I am still working on this genius invention that was given to me to this day. This is my whole business. My whole company is built around this thing that came down when I was supposedly a manic. So I cannot use that bipolar story, and I see how I has had it, just another thing to judge myself about, you know, and to be ashamed about, and to go with, oh well, you were a foster kid, you were in all these different families, all these reasons to just keep on. No wonder you're fucking crazy. Because when I tell my history, oh well, of course you would be mentally ill. Nobody's shocked, right? Nobody's shocked once they hear you. So, oh, yeah, I can see why you need to be on a few medications.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been just really good, just to see how I tell my story and not throw in that mental illness bit. Yeah, it's
Mm.
and I can see it. I'm just really angry at God. Always has been when I felt that I started believing the ego story about God. I think that is when I started to go crazy. And that was Catholic school because I couldn't believe the God they were telling me about because I already had God when I was little before I went to Catholic school. I already knew who God was. Me and God was like, bam. And then you go and they start telling you about hell and the devil and all this stuff. My goodness, how are you going to have a God who has that kind of shit in his back pocket? I don't think so. Mm-mm. So I think that's really what started it. And of course, what's under it. Okay, that's me. That's where I'm at. So just glad to be here. Really, I was in bed every time. I was in bed. I'm going to bed like 7 o'clock. It's like I'd be in bed 6 o'clock. I don't care. I'm running away from my family too. I'm running with my grand. I didn't want to deal with nobody. I'm in bed, sleeping 20 hours. I don't know. Nobody's if nobody's watching. I'm because I live with people. When no one's here, then I get just to be. Bleh. I can just turn off. I don't gotta do shit, and nobody's telling. God, you better not tell on me. So, but I feel back at it, girl. I feel like I'm here to do my part for me, and yay. And this is worth it. This is worth coming to my right mind for, is to be a light in this world and be able to share love and caring. And so that's what I did today. I went to places not for money, not for this. It might have looked like I was doing something for money or doing something for this, but I said, I know what the real reason is. It's not for anything I know. I'm just asked to be led to what I do today. And it might look like I do this, and it might look like I do that, or I say this, but I'm giving it all to God. I'm giving it all to Holy Spirit. I'm asking every day, I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know what I'm fucking doing. Please guide me. I'm in your hands. Let me know. I'm here. Don't gotta make no sense to me. Tell me, okay. Somebody calls me, can you do this? Okay. God must want me to do that. So I'm hoping to build my sanity grounded in this, what everything is for. Yeah, because that makes this suffering when I do or when I see it in others, it makes it worth it because I know what it's for. It's for me to forgive. It's for me not to be a witness to it. Sure, I'm going to have compassion. I'm going to comfort. I'm going to love you. But I'm going to know. I'm going to bear witness to the truth of the Holy Son of God at all times, bottom line. And myself too. Right? Yeah. Stop fucking bearing witness to, yeah, I'm mentally ill. Yeah, I was crazy. Yeah, I was in that. All that stuff. I'm not doing that no more. Yeah, make fun, but I know what we really are. I know who you really are. I know who I really am. I know what we're really here for.
You know what? That excuse me. That makes me think of something that went across my mind today. When I was little, we were taught to like keep a journal. You had to write in your journal every day, and in my little journal, like 6, 7 years old, I'd write. I wrote what I thought I was supposed to write, because that's how I was raised. Like so. Oh, I mean, what's a 6-year-old? Oh, I had French toast for breakfast. I mean, whatever. But at the bottom of every page, it said, I'm going crazy. I wrote that as a little kid. And it came across my mind today. And when I was a child writing it, I thought, because just what Raina just said, I was connected to spirit, totally connected to spirit as a child. I mean, completely spirit led, spirit. I mean, I could see things. And I thought it was the abuse going on in my home that was making me go crazy. But what it was, I realized today, I kind of got like this realization that I was being trained that there's such a thing as money and prestige, and there's pretty people, and there's ugly people, and there's this and that. I was getting trained in the ego thought system. And even as a little child, I didn't know what an ego thought system was. I thought that was real. I thought I was learning what the real world was, and that I was going crazy because I was getting treated a way that children absolutely should not be ever treated. And I thought that that was making me go crazy. And I got like this thing today, and it was like, no, you were connected to spirit. And now you see what happens when you get trained in the ego thought system. Even as a tiny little child, I identified that I was going crazy. I didn't know what was making it, or what, why was my joy disappearing? Why was my feeling of being one with everyone and everything, and where was my magical world going? You know, I think I lived in the happy dream as a child, or the happy world, or whatever it is we talk about in the Course in Miracles. What happened was I learned how different we are, and how separate we are, and how there's levels, and how there's stress, and how there's, you know, religion. And I learned about God that wants to send me to hell if I tell a lie, or if I identified as a 6-year-old that I was going crazy. You know, I mean, I misidentified the reason. And then as an adult, I misidentified the reason even further. I just kept snowballing, thinking, oh, it's my family that's making me crazy. Oh, it's the religion that's making it's the abuse. It's the, you know, I run away from home. It's the rape. It's the abuse, you know, just blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, 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 no. There's only one here, and that's you. And what you remember, that joy and that happiness, and that, I mean, like literally, like my mom had to check people when they left our house because I would just give things away. I had no sense of lack or clinginess, and now it's like, oh my God. I look at myself and I'm like, oh my God. Ooh, God forbid I spend more than $20 on a gift. Cause I mean, you know, it's like, what the hell? I mean, whoa. So I know, Raina, when you said that, it was like, yeah, it's the ego thought system. And now we can look at it, and it is fucked up. I mean, but it's not us. That is not me. Yeah. So as I study the Course in Miracles, I think I've said this in group. I don't know if I have or not, but it's like I recognize this feeling. There's a peace, and there's a joy, and there's like the little feelers of connection to others is starting to come back to me. You know, not a lot. I'm not walking around in bliss. My life is a total fucked up mess. But inside, there's the magic is starting to bubble up. And I know that. I remember it. I know that feeling. And it's like, so it's a feeling of going backwards. It's a feeling of going where I truly belong. I truly, there's a huge puzzle, and it's missing a piece, and it's God missing his son, and he's waiting, you know? And I'm like, oh, that little puzzle piece, this little puzzle piece sounds like Raina's puzzle piece and Jody's I mean, we're like, yeah, I'm coming. Coming. Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard. But that fearlessness, just feeling free, like I can do anything. I can, you know, we're so used to feeling fear that when we don't feel fear, it's so like, oh, wait a minute, what's wrong? Oh, you know, it's so, I don't, anyone who has not had that feeling of fearlessness doesn't realize how fearful we are all the time, just so constricted and ugh. And when that, it's like an expansion. It's so, that's our natural state. I mean, we, you know, not real. Fear. Oh, Jody, I started listening to the David Hoffmeister video. The get the name of it. I wrote it down. Anyways, I'm loving it. And it's talking about listening to guidance and moving through life with guidance. And, you know, I love David Hoffmeister. I mean, he talks about things like, you know, we have faith in money and in all these things. And it's like God didn't make those things, you know? He's not all complicated. God's so simple. I love that. It's just love. Yeah.
I feel so peaceful right now. The first time in a long time. I just feel peaceful there. I don't feel like I need to say anything. I don't need to do anything.
Mhm.
I just get to be here. It's such a peaceful feeling. And it's so like I've really been, I feel like I've been on this bucking bronco since June. And all of a sudden, sitting here listening to you, it's like, wow, I feel so, it's like what I feel this lack that's new. I feel the lack to do anything. There's nothing, I really feel like there's nothing to say,
Mm.
nothing to do right now. It just feels so peaceful. It's beautiful.
I was walking today, Jody, and I like had this little cartoon in my head, and it was this Zoom call, right? And but we're like more in the real world. And so we're just all sat here and there was nothing to say. And there was nothing to do. And, and then you just said that. Oh, very freeing.
And it's also what I loved is and you're an example of this, Marcy, is just the point is when shit show is going on around, we are at peace.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. Not that the shit show stops,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not. That is what we came for, the shit show. We came for the shit show. But, and we're not to escape it, but we can be peace.
It's not a piece initiated by me, and it's not a piece conditional on my environment or on my relationships or on it's truly unconditional. It doesn't rely on any, it's just, you know, and the fact that what we're talking about, this wonderful, peaceful, serene, calm, comforted, loving feeling isn't just a feeling. That's who we are.
Mm,
We are talking about returning to, I mean, this is, you're feeling you. It's not, Marcy isn't peaceful. I'm getting a tiny little sliver of a piece of cheesecake of what I really, you know, that's me. That is my identity. It's not a feeling. It's not a it's everything.
Did you
I'm
say
not,
cheesecake?
yes.
I just went to the Cheesecake Factory today. Ha
It
ha
just popped
ha,
into my
Holy
head.
Spirit. Look at that. Look at Holy
I don't
Spirit.
eat,
Ha ha ha. Who says
I
that?
don't eat cheesecake, and I bake a lot, and I don't make cheesecake, and I'm allergic to dairy, so I don't, but it just cheesecake popped into my head.
And I haven't been to the Cheesecake Factory in many, many years. So I'm just
It's
thinking Holy
delicious.
Spirit's having fun with us. He's like,
There you go.
synchronicity.
Woo!
He's here. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for joining us. I feel you. I feel that's the peace. That's who we are. You're right. It's good. You need to do nothing.
Yeah.
Certainly identifying with the thing that we're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Yeah. And we keep trying. I mean, like I keep trying to, make my puzzle piece fit someplace else. Like, and I'm so angry and frustrated. You know, why can't I be this and do that? And it's like, because that is not who you are. You're looking in the wrong spot. There's nowhere to look. That's you. What you're looking for is you.
what a setup. You will never find it, right? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, where's
Yeah.
my glasses there on your head? Where's my glasses? Where's my glasses?
But David Hoffmeister was saying in that video, like, the ego has it so perfectly planned. He's like, you know, I used to go to the grocery store and spend an hour reading the nutrition labels and trying to go in the fastest checkout line. And, you know, and he's like, instead of realizing that I'm there for you know, a holy moment with myself, just overlook that. It just gets so lost. There's no time for that. There's no time for that. Well, I'll challenge you. There's no fucking time, period. There's no clocks in this house where I'm at. I love it. At first, I was a freaking neurotic. Ooh, I kept looking for the. Now it's like, I mean, you know, I got to kind of pay attention because, you know, we have our call, but, and it's just like, you know what? Wow. It goes deep. That's what I felt as a little kid. And the one thing that I had the most, like, I still have like a block is learning about time. I was in 4th grade and the teacher called on me. What time is it? All the kids are all, oh, 2:30, 1 o'clock. I didn't know how to tell time. We had a digital clock at home. I didn't know. And I mean, time just isn't, you know, I mean,
Lucky
so
you.
yeah, I said one of the answers that the kids said, and of course it was wrong, and everybody laughed at me, and I was humiliated, and, you know, and it's like, and now I'm like, no wonder I struggled with time so much. It's not real. Like, you're trying to shove bullshit down my throat. And I was like, get this shit out of me. And I was writing in my journal, I'm going crazy. I'm 8 years old, going insane. Yeah. Now I'm looking at it going, ah, yeah, I remember this. I do. The, I remember. I remember before all the, you know, And I made all that. I mean, we're supposed to talk about our projection. So yeah. You know, we get taught in life we're supposed to move forward and advance and grow and accumulate and really I had it all when I was a child. I mean, I had, you know, I was connected to spirit and it was trained out of me and now I'm training it back. I mean, you know, it's like, but
Yeah, I have some of the most profound conversations with my grandchildren when they were younger. As they grow, it's gone. Like my granddaughter's 8, and we don't have those profound conversations. But before, when she was like 3 and 4, I couldn't believe the stuff that came out of her mouth.
mhm.
I was like, what the? Or even my own children, but I wasn't listening at that point when I had my kids. I was like, shut up. But I started listening to my grandkids.
Mm, mhm.
Yeah, I'm connecting to that mercy, that innocence. So that's what it is, right? Our innocence.
Yeah. Well, when you don't know what anything's for and you don't know who you really are and you don't know where you, I mean, when you really don't know anything, there's nothing to judge. There's no judgment. Really, there's no problem. There's happenings and events, you know, but if there's not the judgment on it, I mean, problems are things that are going to happen in the future or things that happened in the past or, but right here, right now, in this moment, that's what's real. I don't feel any problem. I think I personally, like for me, for my character, like I added to my own misery because I developed an appetite for researching and learning. And, you know, if I just know more and I have all the facts and I do everything right and I take the right vitamins and do, you know, and it's like I made myself just really go crazy so that I could see that that's not me. It had to get so spun out of control and so ugly that you're like, oh my God, this can't not be real. It's not.
Thank God.
Mm, what a relief. Mm.
I'm feeling so lightheaded right now. I feel high.
I kind of do too. I know, right?
Yeah, I feel high.
Mm. For me, I think realizing that I'm not looking for something, I'm returning. There's nothing, you know, it's, I feel like a pool. I really do. And the pool for me comes in the form of a course in miracles and things like that, but it's like a honing beacon in me. Something in me knows. And something in me, if I just let go of the worry, let go of the struggle, let go of all the thoughts and just go into the moment, something in me knows. I know where to go. Right? You want to? Like that book by Marianne Williamson, A Return to Love. I like that title. Just returning. And I'm not looking for something. I'm not searching for love or I'm just returning to my natural state. How easy is that? How natural is that? It's so natural. Sorry, I think my dog wants to participate. I don't know what this is about. Right, do you need to unwind a little bit? Is your ego wound up? Sorry, not usually like. Oh, you're happy. Uh-oh, I think somebody needs to go potty.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, she licked me. Look at her. Look, she does.
Let's go.
I know, right? Look at her. She'll do it with her hand. Do your hand. Tell me. She won't do it on command. Okay. Oh, yeah, she'll do it. Okay. You guys, sorry. I love you guys.
Love you.
Raina, so glad. I can't see Raina right now, but Raina, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so grateful. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Okay, I'm taking you.
Can't hear you.
I said, we're matching. Then I said, I started listening to David Hoffmeister too. And I never listened to him for whatever reason, I don't know. And yeah. Truth is truth, wherever your source is, I'm just so happy wherever it comes from. I don't think I have the one saved that you had. Is it in the psychiatric sobriety message thing? Probably the one you recommended, because I know it was like 2 hours or something. I'm like, oh my God, I have to set aside
Well,
time.
there's several. So I've made a playlist called
Oh, on
ACIM
yours.
Rescue Mission.
Oh, on yours,
It's
on
on my
your
YouTube
YouTube
channel.
channel. Yes, I haven't visited there yet, and
Mhm. And
I
I put the
just
link
very good.
for it on
Oh,
psychiatric
good. All
sobriety.
good ones. That's a good idea. That all good ones you find, and I don't have to search myself. Thank you for doing the
Mhm.
work. Plus, I just got YouTube Premium, so I
Oh, how
said
much does YouTube Premium cost?
it's a month free. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
do a month free, but it's $18.99.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, not bad because I love YouTube. I mean,
Yeah.
my goodness, there's such rich fountain of everything for me that I love on there. So I like that better than all that. I don't pay for anything. I mean, because I live with my daughter and she's got everything. Uh, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I think it's who cares? It's just like Marcy was saying, she couldn't get time. I couldn't get a concept of money. I had no concept of money.
Mm.
As a foster kid, everything's paid with for vouchers. You know, you get vouchers for this and you get I don't know how they did it, but it wasn't dealt with money. So I just really I could tell you stories about what I got on my out on my own, and I didn't even know how to shop. I mean, it was hilarious. So I get it how, you know, and it just seems like everybody else gets how to live in this world and they look sane, but not really because my home life, everybody was crazy. I couldn't understand why the adults were so upset and crazy and this, that, and I'm like, why you old enough you could watch cartoons all day and be happy. I thought that would be happy. Why wasn't everybody just doing fun, nice things and you're grown? Yeah, I hear you. That building and believing in the ego thought system and then, starting to want it all. That was, yeah, starting to want it all. Mm, but I was just a little innocent baby. We all were just dropped in here. What the hell? And that was the truth. What the hell? And I'm not sleepy anymore. Like I was sleepy. I couldn't wake up. I couldn't wake up. I was just sleepy all the time. And now I'm not sleepy anymore. It's just really interesting. Interesting. And no desire for my drugs and still like like night and day. How can you switch that fast? But you know what? I said I'm not gonna analyze this shit because it's a fucking dream. We can be Christ now. We can be Christ's mind right now. There's no time. There's no, Kate Kavanaugh, 4 months, 4 months. I'm like, damn, it only took you 4 months and you feeling this all the time? Shit. There's no time. Mm-mm. 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 Mm.
It's amazing to me how we can get blissed out on peace. When I was studying in the Tao community, we did a lot of what I understand now as spiritual bypassing. We just focused on the light, focused on the light, focused on the light. And you get high. Like it feels euphoric, and it very much feels like you're high. And we would use, terminology like being blissed out on the light, like being high on the light and blissed out on the light. And as I'm just sitting here, like basking in the peace, it reminds me of that. It's not, this feels more grounded, more solid in my body. It's just definitely somewhere you want to linger. And what a beautiful contrast. Because like I said earlier, I've not been feeling a lot of peace. Yesterday was really, I tormented myself. My ego tormented me all day. And then this morning was the aftermath of that and some reminiscent stuff. And so now just to feel this, just this profound peace. It's all okay. Why is it all okay? Because none of it's actually really happening. It's all just apparently happening. And that's so liberating. Thank God none of this is a real this, because it's so insane, so painful. I was thinking today of just all of the little microcosms of insanity going all over the world. Like, it's not just my world that's gone completely insane, my ego thought system that is completely insane. I don't follow the news, but I know there's a lot of stuff going on all over the world right now that is, it doesn't make any sense to me. War doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get how we treat other people as below us, like the whole race thing, or like I don't get that. And so it's just like, it's so insane to me. All of these just these little pockets of complete insanity going on. And we can be here in this profound peace.
Wow. What a gift. Wow. Wow. What's the difference between being a body being bombed in Gaza or in your mind being bombed? What's the difference? I felt like I was fucking gonna die. Huh.
Well, it is war. Like I've been saying, I have an internal war going on. I have a civil war going on. And the Course in Miracles teaches us that the outside world is a reflection of my inside world. So of course it's that insane elsewhere.
I always felt so grateful I wasn't in a war-torn country. See how clever the ego is? Hides
Oh, yeah.
right in front of you.
Yeah.
Right in front of you. Oh, I'm so glad I'm not over there.
Yeah. Lucky me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got fooled with there's no order in illusions. Crazy's crazy. Wow, I'm having my own fucking Israel-Palestine war. I was having my own fucking war. Wow. Damn. Sure was. Good to see that. Good to notice. And I can choose peace. Mm, 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 mm.
Okay, let's end this recording as we experience this profound peace. Gosh. If there's anyone watching, thanks for being here. Catch you next time.
Love you. Peace.
Love you.